How's it going, everyone? This is Ty Gonzalez of TrueToTheTrident.com and the Control the Zone podcast. Some of you may not be very familiar with me if you just follow us through this YouTube channel. I mean, Colby admittedly does most of the social outreach here, but I wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about Mariners top prospect Jarred Kelenic, specifically expectations now that Kelenic is expected to make his major league debut this Thursday versus Cleveland per ESPN's Jeff Passan. Now, look, I get it. If you're a Mariners fan, this is by far the best prospect you've seen called up since Alex Rodriguez all the way back in 1994. If you're of the younger generation of Mariners fans, this is the best prospect you've seen Seattle have ever. So expectations are incredibly high, and it's completely understandable, honestly. Jarred Kelenic is a rare breed, the dictionary definition of a five-tool player with the ceiling of superstardom, and a lot is hinging upon his success as a big leaguer in regards to the Mariners rebuild and general manager Jerry Dipoto's plan to make their 19-year playoff drought a thing of the past. But I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't have my concerns, at least in regards to the potential public reaction if Kelenic struggles in his first stint at the big league level, which is likely. I feel like it shouldn't have to be said here, but I'll say it anyway. Prospects like Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Fernando Tatis Jr., who took the league by storm right out of the gate, are the outliers. They are far from the standard. Most prospects have growing pains, and the expectation should always be, no matter who it is, that they're going to struggle to adjust to the highest level of the sport. I mean, take Twins outfielder Byron Buxton, for example. Buxton was the consensus number one prospect in all of baseball before his debut in 2015, and while his glove in center field certainly proved to be as good as advertised, it's taken him a long time to figure things out at the plate. I mean, this was a guy that was considered to be the next Mike Trout, but his bat has been anything but leading up to the 2021 season. Entering this year, Buxton was slashing .238, .289, .430 in his career and never posted an on-base percentage higher than .314. While he obviously offered quite a bit of value defensively and on the base pass and with some occasional power, it's taken parts of 6 seasons for Buxton to finally reach his potential. Now, he may be the frontrunner in the AL MVP race early on in 2021, hitting .370, .408, .772 with a .226 WRC plus, 9 home runs, and 17 RBIs. An even more recent example we can go over here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the league's top prospect heading into 2019. While Guerrero hasn't been bad by any stretch of the imagination, his first 2 years left more to be desired after he absolutely obliterated minor league ball. Through the first 183 games of his career, Guerrero had good numbers, 24 home runs, 102 RBIs, a WRC plus north of 100, but still, many considered him to be a bust because he was posting otherworldly numbers like he did in the minors. This is a great example of fans setting their expectations too high, and it should be a warning to those who are dangerously ecstatic about Kelenic. You see, Kelenic could be a good major leaguer right away, just like Guerrero, but he may not be the superstar fans want him to be for some time, if ever. It happens, guys flame out all the time. Players reaching their moon-like ceilings is honestly a rarity. It's like I said earlier, the cases of Soto and Acuna are the outliers, and if Kelenic doesn't follow in their footsteps, he shouldn't be considered a failure, at least not right away. And even if he falls apart at the major league level, needs to be sent down, that's okay too. That doesn't mean he can't eventually be a superstar. This is a 21-year-old kid we're talking about who's had just a handful of plate appearances above high A and just 5 good games at AAA. And while he's dominated every level he's been at, I've shown you examples of how that doesn't always translate to big league play right away. This is a whole nother animal than anything he's ever faced, and major league pitching has never been better than it is right now. So, could Jarred Kelenic come up and be a superstar right away? Sure, I wouldn't put it past him. He's an incredibly gifted and confident player, but I hope fans are able to understand if he doesn't meet their expectations anytime soon. I think some of the expectations I've seen fans express on social media are unrealistic and frankly quite unfair to Kelenic, and I think even if he is good out of the gate, he's not going to single-handedly fix the 2021 Mariners. This is a team littered with injuries and holes along its roster, far more than any one player can eliminate on his own, let alone a rookie. So, that just consider that when getting excited about Kelenic's arrival. Obviously, that's something to be very excited about. He's an incredible prospect who could change the face of this franchise, but it'll have to, we'll have to all see how it turns out. So that'll do it for me. I appreciate you tuning in and giving this thing a listen. Please consider subscribing to the channel. We'll be doing more Mariners-centric videos, and we also do a live podcast every Friday here around noon Pacific time. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/controlthezone for access to our weekly Mariners podcast. Visit the website, truthofthetrident.com, to find all our written work, and follow us on Twitter at controlthezone to interact with us before, after, and during the games. Peace and enjoy Jared Kelenic's debut this Thursday.